Okay, well, we only started, and we are primarily here to learn from others, and we feel very honored to, and myself, being part of this very knowledgeable constituency now working with doing development differently. But even if we are just starting, we have an increasing awareness in SIDA, Swedish SIDA, that we need to change. So that's why I'm here. I'm part of SIDA Management Group. I'm directing a department for innovations and partnerships, and also my colleague, head of staff at Director General's office, also from the management group. So you can see we really want to be part of this. Also my colleague Nina, who's an innovation advisor. So, and I think doing this, we are in a good place in two regards. First, our political masters, they very much decide on what to achieve. And then we as an independent government agency, we are very much given the liberty to decide on the how. And they really encourage us also to use that flexibility. So I think that we've been given a mandate that we're not using enough. The other thing I think is also positive is that we have, throughout the history of Swedish development cooperation, worked always with a very strong focus on ownership, meaning that our partners defines what is to be done, not us. And I think that relative flexibility it makes it easier for us also to make program changes and allow for adaptive programs. And we've been asking now to speak about three changes that we're trying to move within the agency. So the first I would like to mention is trust. We have, during the last 5-6 years, very much focused more and more on financial control. That was mainly due to some problems in the administrative budget, but it has spilled over on operations. So we have been very much focusing also in the operations on control of funds, checking on partner governance systems, etc. And if we instead want to have a little bit tilt the focus towards more a culture of trust, which allows the program officers and the partners to use their own judgments to see really what is the right pathway for change and for development. And the second one, the Logframes. We think that we have moved away from the Logframes. You know, sitting in a management, you think, well, we don't have a rule saying you should use this or that log frame. We still say we want to know what results to achieve, but that is different. So then we hear our partners or local partners complaining that we are very rigid, that we do not allow for flexibility. So it's not only about that we are now reviewing our format for results-based management and make them focus less on form and more on function. It's also a need for a cultural change. And then the third change I would like to mention in this regard is that we also want a shift in work practices. We have been speaking about this for some time now, that we're really front-loading. When we are assessing a contribution, we focus a lot on, in the project appraisal, on quality assurance, and as I said, financial management, looking at capacities prior to the funding decision. But if we are more DDD, then we would accept that the future is uncertain, that plans, especially plans for societal changes, needs to be tentative, and that partners need to change course during implementation. And if we are really putting more DDD glasses on our work, that would mean that we would be much more out there during implementation phase, focus on monitoring and implementation, and looking more continuously on that side. And so these are 3 changes that we are trying to move forward. So have we really been able to change the culture or incentive structures then within SIDA? And what about the leadership? Well, SIDA, we are very much looking now at how can we work differently to actually being efficient in working towards the global goals. That is very much at the center of our operations right now. And it should be. So it means that we need to move away a little bit from being a funder of development to being more of a facilitator of development. And that means bringing in new partners, using the resource out there that is still not used, and that there are lots of organizations and people in different sectors wanting to contribute to development. So how can we be more of a facilitator to really take advantage of that engagement? Because that is really coming up as a strong signal to us. Also to use other financing for development. That is also something that we need to be better at. So being more of a facilitator instead of a funder in order to achieve the SDGs. But this is not really, DDD, but we think that the elements in this do really have strong links on the role of being flexible, adaptive, entrepreneurial, etc. That the elements that DDD wants to promote. And then, if I'm going to speak a little bit about challenges. One challenge, 1 minute, one challenge. We still have a very strong incentive structure on disbursement. Parliament holds government accountable for the spending, especially now as we're approaching end of the year. We're almost panicking on disbursement. And full utilization of allocated funding. Instead, if we didn't have that strong focus on the spending, we could be more of managers talking to the staff about exactly this. What are we learning from the operations? And how can we program differently based on the learning and evaluation, because we are much more closer to the operations.
Thank you so much.